Hi, this is Alan from Alpus Group, and we're going to discuss today the importance of a clear project brief. This is video 2 in a series of 20 free training videos about key factors for project success. We recommend that the following 20 key factors are addressed to ensure project success. At least they're considered. You may deem that certain of them are not relevant, but if you cover all of these things, then you will certainly be well on the way to ensuring your project is successful. So key factor 1 is a clear and concise project brief. There must be a clear and concise project or program brief that defines the fundamental design parameters and employers or owners' requirements, such as the budget costs, the program time schedule, and the specific operational performance requirements and quality requirements. Project or program brief should reflect the vision of the sponsor of the project or program. So in terms of a development, this would include the vision for a value, gross development value from the planned development. This is what justifies the project to exist. It's what is basically the increased value as a result of transforming from one state of a building, whether it's an old building needing demolition, to a new, potentially residential development of a high value. This is the driver for carrying out the development. So when property investors and developers consider a potential project, they may not immediately be able to define what the end result that they're seeking may be. That's because there are multiple ways to develop any particular potential development site or investment project. Therefore, the first step in developing the project brief is to look at the available options for that site, which means that you may need to carry out some market research. So once you've identified all the possible options for any site, then you need to evaluate the options and then choose one as your preferred way forward. The options for the development of any site may be limited by the existing planning permission. That is the category of use that the site has been granted. It may be agricultural land, it may be residential use, it may be commercial use, industrial use, employment purposes, etc. You may have in mind that the site you've identified is suitable for a particular purpose because there's a shortage of a particular type of development or building in the area. For example, you may consider that a hotel may be needed in a particular area because there is a shortage of such accommodation. The first thing you'll need to check, if the site does not already have permission for such uses under use class orders, is if the local planning policy will support such a development. So the key factor from a developer or investor's point of view is what is the highest development value achievable. There's no point in using a potentially high value site, which could be giving a massive return on if it's developed residentially, to develop it for a lower return. So you need to consider the options. You may be able to develop up to 16 houses on a 1 acre site with residential usage and the necessary planning permission. Alternatively, a hotel usage may give a much lower return on investment. Retail usage or industrial may possibly be a possibility subject to planning permission. Alternatively, petrol filling station or electric charging stations. But usually residential usage gives the highest value. And depending on the part of the country that you're located in, then you can get data on what residential values can be achieved, i.e. what selling prices have been in the area, and therefore there's a good indication what residential prices will be for the future. So the site may have an existing usage class that allows you to develop it without the need for seeking a new planning permission. If not, you'll need to seek outline and detailed planning permission unless you have permitted development rights under the Town and Country Planning Order 2015. You will need to have building control permission for whatever development you carry out. So the risks of the alternative options need to be evaluated, especially the risk that planning permission may not be granted for your chosen development. If you've got permitted development rights, then that's a big hurdle overcome already, because you can carry out your planned development without the need to seek planning permission. You may decide that you prefer to have a residential development for your particular site. After all, there is a critical housing shortage in the UK, but there is a risk that your planning permission may not be granted for the number of dwellings that you would like, i.e. the planners will accept a lower density than you would ideally like. So you need to consider this sort of response from the local authority. There's also a risk that you may be required to consider affordable housing. That is, if you're developing more than 10 residential units, then you may be required to make an affordable housing provision. The number of units, the tipping point for this varies from authority to authority. The site may have permitted development rights to make the change from commercial usage to residential, which reduces the risk significantly. Once you're clear that you have planning permission to carry out the development you would like, then you will be able to refine and finalise your project brief and remit for your designers and contractors. If you need any help with defining your project brief, then we have a team who can help you to solve these problems. We're based in the UK and also in Slovenia. If you want to contact me, Alan at alpusgroup.com, or telephone me on 07539141257. You can get me on Skype or WhatsApp, FaceTime or Zoom as well. Or you can book an exploratory call on this Calendly link, calendly.com/AlanJE. And if you'd like a contracts checklist, then we give another link in the description below. And this is a free gift for you for later consideration of what contracts you may wish to use. So that's it for video number 2 in the series. See you in the next video. Cheers.